All right. We have 10 minutes on this session, so we're going to move very quickly. Um, and listen, everywhere you look today, the mortgage industry is talking about AI. Look, every conference has sessions on AI. Every vendor has an AI roadmap. Every platform claims to be using AI. But the question most companies are asking is simple. How do we add AI to what we're already doing? At Loanworks, we're asked a different question. What would a mortgage company look like if AI wasn't just another tool, but part of the workflow itself? So that question led us down an entirely different path. Instead of layering AI on top of an existing company and structure, we began redesigning the operating system underneath it all. So today I want to share why that matters, why we believe it represents the future of mortgage, and what it means for loan officers, managers, and owners who want to thrive in the coming decade. More than 20 years, certainly the time I've been in the business, our industry has been layering technology onto an outdated process. We added LOS, POS, PPEs, CRMs, compliance and communication, a lot of tools bolted on. Uh, but each one of those promised transformation, and many of them did deliver real improvements. But despite all that technologies, borrowers still experience delays. LOs still spend enormous amounts of time on admin work, and ops teams still fight bottlenecks. So we're kind of doing the same thing with AI right now, and most companies are approaching it with the same assumption they've used for decades. If we add enough technology, the user experience will improve. But technology was never really the problem. The workflow was. And unless that changes, AI simply becomes another tool on top of the challenges we've always had. So, if you're a producing LO or sales manager, this slide feels all too familiar, right? Borrowers are still waiting for updates and answers. LOs and processors, underwriters spend their day managing bottlenecks. Managers are still, depending on reports and meetings. So everyone's working hard, everyone's busy, yet many of the same frustrations existed that did 10 years ago because the technology changed, but the workflow itself didn't. So that's why I believe that the industry may be asking the wrong question. They're asking, how do we add AI? And that question usually produces the same sort of results we've been hearing about: AI chatbots and assistants, LLMs, OCR document readers, and point solutions that automate one specific task at a time. And while those tools certainly help and they can save time and improve efficiency, they don't fundamentally change how work moves through the organization. It just kind of moves where the bottlenecks are. That's optimization. It isn't transformation. And that's the distinction that really matters. The better question is this: what should a mortgage company become when AI can coordinate the work? All right, notice that this is no longer a technology question. It's an operating model question. It's a workflow question, leadership question. Technology is simply the enabler. Uh, the real opportunity is redesigning how work flows through the company, how decisions get made, and where human beings can really create the most value. The organization that figures this out will stop renovating the old structure and start redesigning the system itself, and that's the path that Loanworks chose. And when you strip away all the technology, all the compliance requirements, and all the industry terminology, it all comes down to one thing: coordination. Every loan requires communication. It also requires documentation, conditions, approvals, status updates, and all of that requires follow up. So it's really a series of interconnected activities, involving a lot of people, right? Including referral partners, LOs, and the entire fulfillment staff. And historically, people have been responsible for coordinating all these moving parts. It's almost a task, an impossible task that we're asking of them. But really, mortgage isn't a lending problem; it's a coordination problem, and whoever solves that at scale will define the future of this industry. And so, for the first time, we can actually coordinate that continuously, not one thing at a time, and not just during business hours. Every file can be monitored, tracked, and moved simultaneously, 24/7. And that's the shift most companies underestimate. Most are concerned, AI isn't replacing LOs or relationships. What it is replacing is manual coordination. And when all that becomes automated, people are freed up to focus on the work that only people can do, their highest and best use, building trust, providing guidance, solving problems, and creating relationships. So that's where Loanworks becomes different. Rather than creating another AI feature, we built an interconnected production system designed to remove friction across the entire life cycle, and that includes managing and prospecting leads, quoting guidelines, and delivering um, scenarios, helping take applications, and collecting docs and populating the 1003 with those docs so everyone else doesn't have to. And then, of course, the manufacturing of the loans with the expedited processing and fulfillment, um, and proactive pipeline management, and ultimately recapturing of customers automatically, intelligently, not just a bolt-on CRM. It's all intertwined. All right, so this slide is where everything comes together, because at the end of the day, LOs and sales managers don't get paid for technology, they get paid for production. And that matters. You have to have a system that helps close more loans and create a better experience, right, to generate that more income. So our production system, and as we mentioned, on the backbone of $120 billion valued Angel AI, is designed to do all that. Improved approval ratios because of removed overlays, clear expectations throughout, increased fulfillment capacity, everyone able to handle more volume without the administrative burden, right? That helps you scale, and that helps you, spend more time building your business and doing the things that are more important. Okay. Uh, Remember, technology is the means, production is the outcome, and the result, is amazing. And it's not because people are working harder, it's because the workflow works differently, right? Ultimately, our cycle times are compressed, processing in minutes, underwriting in hours, closing in days, and not because people are asked to do more, it's because the system is doing more. All right. And that affects everyone. Borrowers experience greater ease, speed, and certainty. LOs gain time, transparency, and scale production. Managers benefit from visibility into the pipeline and consistency, reduce risk, and scalability as well. So, companies are facing really a fork in the road right now. And one path is to continue adding AI tools to existing workflows. That path focuses on incremental improvement, optimization of the old flow. The other path is to redesign the operating model itself, to rebuild workflows around system intelligence rather than human bandwidth, to create structural advantage and really unfair competitive advantage in the marketplace. These aren't competing strategies, they're fundamentally different strategies. One is optimization, and the other is transformation. Only one is going to define the next decade. So, in closing, but everything we've discussed today comes down to three simple ideas. Everything's connected, everything's coordinated, everything's moving. At Loanworks, We believe the future mortgage company won't be built by adding more technology to yesterday's model. It will be built by redesigning the operating system underneath it all, right? System where every stakeholder is connected, workflows are coordinated continuously, and where files move faster and borrowers experience greater clarity, loan officers have more leverage, and that's the future we're building. Um, if you're interested in being part of that future, we'd welcome the opportunity to continue this conversation after today's session, regardless if you're just starting your journey or advanced in it, or whether you're an LO manager or owner. We're here to help. Thank you very much for your time. And gang, I think we nailed that at exactly 10 minutes.